Alright, for this next review, we're going to be switching gears pretty heavily, and we're going to be reviewing an anime movie. Welcome back to Reeling for Cinema. In this video, we'll be reviewing Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze Arc. Before I get into the movie, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support from my last video coming back. It's been a great experience so far. A lot of views, a lot of subscribers, and I want to keep it going. So please keep liking and subscribing and commenting, and I'd love to hear from you. Now, this movie was balls to the wall wild. I loved it. Chainsaw Man, I watched the first season of the anime. I absolutely loved it. It's a great oddball, fish out of water, just insane anime. And anime is already pretty insane, and it's just the action and the animation is just absolutely beautiful in the TV show. And in this movie, they bring it up even higher. If Chainsaw Man, the first season was out of 10. This is out of 11. I mean, the animation is just stunning. What always gets me for the series and the movie is that the movement of the characters in the animation is just so weirdly lifelike. I don't know how to explain it. It's not smooth, but it's so realistic. Just those little minute details that they have in just the character animation is just really cool. And of course, the action scenes are just eye-popping in the show, and in this movie it's just astounding. It basically picks up right where the first season leaves off. I feel like to understand the characters more, you might have to watch that and or get a good feel for the dynamics in the movie, but you can go in cold. It's just, it doesn't feel the same. You don't understand Denji's relationship with Makima and all the other characters as well. I feel like it's a good addition to Denji's journey. See, with these movies that are a continuation of a long-running series, it's hard for me to judge the movie as a movie, but instead multiple episodes of an even bigger overarching story. So that's why I gotta kind of reserve some of the ultra film criticism, because it's not a complete story. Even though it's not a complete story and it's still ongoing, I think it does a pretty darn good job having a total arc. I mean, the Reze arc, after all. It tells a total plot point in the entire series. That's usually how anime is structured, to those of you who aren't too into anime. And it tells a full story to beginning to end, but it does leave off on Denji's character development. Now, he's starting to branch out more into the city life, and he finds a potential girlfriend, and it's really interesting, the dynamic between him and Reze. It really encapsulates like finding your first love, your real first love, because he's got this odd, superficial dynamic that he doesn't understand with his boss Makima, but with Reze, at least, it feels real. But this poor guy, he's been through the ringer from the beginning, you know? He didn't have any money. He was in debt, unemployed, kind of like me. And that's the thing. It's supposed to be relatable, you know? And like, yeah, he just keeps going through the ringer with the girl trouble and just trying to experience life because he didn't have the ability to do so before. And he starts being less of a fish out of water, essentially, and starts getting more developed into the real world, or the city. That's an ongoing motif, the city mouse or the country mouse. And it seems like Denji has lived both of those lives, and I think it's having a commentary on his life, or what life he would want to live, the dream that he wants to pursue. The other stuff that I did like is that he goes on a journey in this movie, and he starts realizing some things about himself and about others. He still kind of sticks to his own personal sensibilities, because, you know, he's a bit of a whack job, which makes his character kind of endearing. He doesn't really care much about anything because, again, he's been brought up in a horrible environment, but he just kind of walks to the beat of his own drum, despite, even though he's trying to get a grasp on how the world works. It's a really interesting thing to watch. With the story beats to the side, the action was just balls to the wall insane. I mean, if you want to watch a guy retractable chainsaws ride a giant shark, that's a movie for you. It's just so wild. They take on a typhoon and a bomb lady. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. That's anime for you, but this one does it, like I said, dials it to 11, everything. And it's just this beautifully violent canvas that they paint in these action sequences. And this is something that American cartoons and animation hasn't really been able to compare to and can't replicate, because most studios do 3D animation now, but you can't really compare to 2D. I mean, American animation used to have some really great 2D stuff, and we have some new stuff coming out here and there like Invincible, but it's still not like that anime, just in your face, absolutely bombastic yet eye-catching style. With that stuff out of the way, I do have some criticisms here and there about the movie. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I do feel like some of the subplots were a little like what they had to do with Aki. I mean, yeah, they have the whole like unlikely duo. He gets paired with another character and they don't actually get along, but eventually they do. I think it's good that they do a little poetic thing with it, with him eventually doing something that could potentially harm him in the future, and it shows that he actually cares about the character in the end. So there is an arc, but it's a little underdeveloped, but that's not really the focus. The focus is mostly on Denji and him having this quarrel between his newfound love and the person that he's been trying to attain acceptance from. Yeah, the only other thing is that from a film standpoint, it's not a complete story, but you gotta give grace to it because it's telling an overarching plot that is going to go on with Chainsaw Man Season 2. And I think at the end, they bring out the backstory of the antagonist. And I feel like whenever they do that, they kind of do that in anime. I've seen it happen in Demon Slayer a lot. When they reveal their backstory after the fact, the big fights and stuff, I feel like it kind of doesn't give you much feeling for the character. I feel like if you're given their motivations or what happened to them in the past throughout the movie, it makes you understand them more and makes you more invested in the character. I get it though, because they're trying to set up more stuff later on, but that's just my personal thing. Other than that, I thought this movie was awesome. It was so fun to watch and funny. Chainsaw Man is a really funny anime, but anime's not for everybody. It's a little weird. That's the other thing. It can be a little strange sometimes and not vibe with it as much. Judging it as a movie and as a theatrical experience, I had an amazing time with it. It was awesome. I mean, it was just, like I said, I keep saying, a balls to the wall experience. Great action, and I left with a huge smile on my face. So, with that being said, Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, gets a blockbuster. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and comment. I would love to discuss with you in the comments. And if you agree with me too, definitely reach out too. We can share how much we like the movie together. I'm only half of it. You guys are a big part of it. So please comment, and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for everything. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.